Well, I thoroughly enjoyed Brides. Just for context, I'm Muslim Pakistani, so it's not often we get stories like this. So I was buzzing. I wasn't blessed to watch it in a cinema. I did just watch it in my bedroom, but I'm gonna go rewatch it for sure, inshallah. So very
Inshallah.
refreshing for me as a film critic, as just a Muslim, as a Pakistani, but for you two, as young actors, people of color, was it refreshing to be given this role, to be offered this for a change? Ibad, I'll come to you first. Was that refreshing for you?
It definitely was. I mean, when I first saw the casting call, it was, they specified it was for a young girl of East African descent. And for me, I've never seen that in a casting call. Usually when they're looking for black talent, it tends to be quite broad, black
Mm,
girl. And it's like, okay, but it's, not very specific, and you
yeah.
can kind of fall into just a big bracket of whatever. And obviously our stories haven't been told much, so this seemed like the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, fantastic. No, and I can imagine, especially from a majority white industry, that casting call of just black girl, which is not all encompassing at all, must feel quite
Right.
reductive. So then to get this being so
Absolutely.
specific, right? It must have been it must have been
Yeah,
crazy
okay,
for
it was
you.
meant to be. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And it's,
absolutely.
it's
Well,
it's such a niche community as well. Like
mm,
I'm Somali specifically, and like we're up and coming. There's a few creatives about, but there's not a lot of us doing this at all. So it felt like, we were
yeah.
being given a chance, and it felt like a blessing.
That's a really
Yeah.
beautiful way to look at it. Safiyya, do you echo that? Do you feel that, well, yeah, what was your perspective when you saw that casting call as well?
Um, so I actually got called in a bit of an unconventional way because they actually
Okay.
cast an original actress to play Muna through the same
Mm,
process that they cast Bada. And so with me, I had to come in last minute because due to complicated circumstances, the
got
actress
it.
had to drop out. So I got it a bit more in the conventional way where my agent emailed me and was like,
Uh,
"Look, here's the crap. It's a
yeah.
very short time, turnaround. Like, do you want to audition for it?" And I was like, "Heck yeah!" And the thing is, the moment I saw the names of like Nadia Fall and Suhayla El-Bushra like, on the script on the thingy, I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, of course I am because
Yeah.
like Lord knows in drama school I was told like I'm gonna play like Syrian refugee terrorist this
Yeah.
that and the other, and like I was like.
Mm,
Yo, got a brazen with my casting right now. They just said that outright. But they were like,
yeah.
yeah, because for people like you, like that's the kind of roles you're gonna get. And so when
Mm,
I saw this, always a bit tentative. But the thing that immediately solidified it was knowing that it was Muslim women
yeah,
that are
absolutely.
leading this charge, because
Hmm.
that actually the more unique thing for me. I don't actually get cast as Muslims a lot anyway. People don't
Mm,
really like look at me for Muslim casting, and I think that in our own circles has to be rectified because Muslim actors are slipping through the cracks, and we're right here.
absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, it was really refreshing to have like two Muslim women
Mm,
approach me this, and then I had a chat with Nadia, and it was this long political chat, and we were talking about this razor edge line we're going to be walking telling this story, but because
yeah.
we know, because it's our experience, there
Yeah.
really is no way we can do it wrong.
No.
And I truly believe that's why the film's turned out the way it has. So yeah.
And I think it's been received that way as well. Touchwood, I haven't seen a single bad comment about the film so far. I don't know if you are professionals that like to read reviews, but obviously everything that I've seen, everything that I've heard has been positive because it's not just refreshing in the sense that it's a story that's not been told before, but the angle's different, right? So one of the things I really appreciated is there's no geopolitics in the whole thing. We don't really hear the names of countries mentioned that much, but it is really just a tale of two teenage girls in an adolescent, troubling time. And it's just a tale of that from a different perspective, a way that's not really explored, right? Obviously, the chemistry between you two, undeniable. It does really feel like your best friends. Even now, it feels like you get on great. And I can imagine that the time on set obviously really compounded that. We often, as viewers, don't really get much insight into was this a long process? Was this a short process? So you may have told this story a million times, but I am curious to know, was it a very workshop-led process? Did you spend a lot of time on the characters? Or did Nadia really allow you to bring your own experience to it? Safia, maybe talking about Muna, that'd be a great way to start.
Um, luckily Nadia is a theatre director first and foremost. It's her first love, I know, and she loves actors. And it's very rare that you find screen actors that actually screen directors who love actors.
Yeah.
And so we won a grant through this amazing organization that actually gave us a bit of funding to do some rehearsals, which
Nice.
you usually don't get
Yeah.
on film sets, especially indie, because there is no money.
Yeah.
And so through that, yeah, she ran workshops with us. We did improvisations and stuff. And I know for the characters specifically, during the audition process, the open casting calls, Nadia and Suhayla talk a lot about how the girls they were also auditioning the script and the characters as well, because that's how much they want. Suhayla and Nadia wanted these women to be represented. They wanted their active input. They wanted feedback, and they followed through with all of that. So I
Yeah.
think, is definitely born from, and I love hearing like Muslim girls come up to me after screenings and they're like, I got kicked out of mosque as well. I'm like, really? And they were like, pull me to the side and tell me these like cheeky little stories. And what's so refreshing is like, they're usually hijabi girls as well.
Yeah.
And they tell me how they felt being in a character like Muna, because she's not perfect. She's not
No. She's
prim and proper.
authentic, right?
She's not some meek little thing. She gets in trouble. She's a badass. She
Yeah,
swears. She's funny. She's
absolutely.
charismatic. And so yeah, I feel like all of the work they did prior to us stepping into it, and then us doing those workshops during rehearsals, those improvisations, playing games. We played a lot on set and off. Just really solidified the
Yeah.
girls
Oh, it's
for
so
every.
nice to hear that you had that active input and you got to kind of shape the role. That's really nice. Brother, do you have anything to add to that? Did you have a similar experience? Did you find that, obviously, even just on paper, the casting call was so refreshing, but the way you got to explore the character, was that new for you too?
I mean, yeah, as it was my first acting job as well, it was all pretty new,
Yeah.
but it definitely helped having that, the workshops, because we all had questions. The other girls who were auditioning as well, the story is like Safiyya said, we were treading on like a razor's edge. Like we knew it could be taken controversially, and were we, gonna be telling the story right? How would it be received? All these questions, but it was very much a room for open discussion. And like she said, we were auditioning them just as much as they were auditioning us.
Yeah.
And the rehearsals helped a lot because it was me, Saf, and Nadia just in a room for about a week, just chatting, playing, and
Yeah.
chilling. Like we had all these questions about the script, but the script also just offered so much, you know what I mean? Like we stuck to it pretty
Yeah.
much to the T, like it didn't change much at all.
Mm.
But we just had that time to be able to just talk and like actually create a bond. And then obviously that continued on like when we went on set, and it was a lot of hanging out together. Yeah.
That's really nice though. But like you were saying, Sophia, about the grant as well, just like that as an idea in the indie space, to have that time to create a bond, to have rehearsals, that's so few and far between. So I'm really glad it matched up for this project, because I think, for you two leading the charge in this film, the chemistry is definitely one of the leading parts of why the story feels so powerful. It really does. I also love the school scenes. I'm a teacher by trade. That's like my day job. And it was just so sweet to see the way that you, and obviously Nadia and the whole team behind it, did school authentically for once. It didn't feel fake. There's always those cringy bits of dialogue in the classroom scenes in like coming of age films, but this felt genuine. And I think now that you talk about having had active input in shaping that, you can see it clear as day. It's lovely to hear, of course, the young feedback that you've had as well. I can only imagine that this was a key part of the importance for doing this role for you as well. Obviously, it's taken some time to get the film to where it is, and I understand that you've premiered it in international festivals and things like that too. Do you think that it is particularly important to show this film to young audiences at the moment, which I know is a big question, but feel free to answer it personally. Why do you think now's a good time for this story to be told? Totally open to both of you.
Do you want to take a shot, Ebada, or should I go first?
Go ahead.
I think in every angle, in every direction, there is constant dehumanization happening. I think on quite a grand scale, on a scale that I don't think a lot of people have ever experienced before.
Mm.
And it is refreshing to see, and it's tragic and it's really sad to see people kind of in real time realize that there are people out there who make their lives feel like it's worth nothing. And Lord knows, Black and brown kids specifically, we don't know that. We've known that from day one. And it's kind of, we've always been navigating our way through life with that level of awareness, adultifying ourselves because people adultify us when we're children. You know, all of that stuff is so key in this. But one thing that's shone out more than anything is how everyone, and I've seen people from every single age bracket talk about this film from the perspective of remembering what it's like to be young and remembering what it's like to be innocent and stupid and like, you know, reckless, and also how sad it is that they have been lied to about hating children. We're watching children be wiped out in great numbers right now. And there's no surprising that it's allowed to happen. Things don't happen in a vacuum. And so, and especially with everything that's been happening in the last 2 weeks, we were at the BFI a couple of weeks ago while those awful marches were happening. And having to navigate all of that while going to celebrate this beautiful work that's being created. And so with young people, it's just about like just keeping that thought alive and that buzziness alive and that idea that we really are all the same. We really, really are. And there is this narrative that is trying so desperately to divide us. This is one of the most powerful things we have right now. Kind of scary, kind of like, hey, what's up? Let's have a chat. And it's so nice seeing like even little white girls come up to us and say like, oh my God, I really resonated with that. And it's like, yes, that's what it's about. We're all children. We all bleed the same. We've all made stupid decisions before. Like that's the core of it. And never listen to anyone else trying to divide you, because that is where things can go really wrong. That's why the story happened in the first place.
That's a very good way to put it.
Sorry, that was a bit rambling.
No, absolutely. I think what you're saying about it being a tale of youth and recklessness is probably what's going to unify audiences. And I know that already, I think the industry is receiving it the way you're intending it. You know, it's been exhibited at these showcases for young audiences. So I'm really happy that, you know, they're seeming to lead the charge in the right way this time, which is really promising. I know we don't have a lot of time left, but I did just want to say, you know, from the perspective of a Muslim Pakistani, it is very rare that we get these tales on screen. I think the last one I remember is Rocks from like 2020. You know, that's the last one that I really remember like this, right? But I do think that this, you know, reignites that conversation at a very important time. And I'm very thankful that you guys have led this. I think that you were perfect casting, and I'm really excited for what is next for you. What is next for either of you? Do either of you have any projects in the pipeline that you'd want to share? Or is it totally zipped?
I have to, I mean, I'm NDA'd up to my eyeballs, but I can say, like, I mainly do video games. I'm a voice actor. Actually, little bit of trivia. I love sprinkling this in. When Doe and her mum are watching cartoons in the living room, those voices are me.
No way. That's such a cool little Easter egg. Also,
just
little personal like nerd out. I also know that you did a voice in Wuthering Waves as well, and I played that pretty well.
That's kind of my thing. I'm doing video games and stuff. It's pretty cool, and I have one game that I've just been recently doing, and I can't wait to tell everyone about it. It's actually
I can't wait to hear about it as well. But how about you? Anything that I know this was your first big acting job, so you know, huge congratulations. Do you think you've got a taste for it? Do you think you'd want a little bit more?
Unfortunately, yes. I'm joking. Yeah. Going down this path. That's the plan. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I got my degree now. So I've got that, but I'm not planning to use it anytime soon. So
that's amazing. Well, it's been an absolute joy speaking to you both. I wish we had more time. Hopefully see you further down the line for your other projects as well. Okay. Take care. Have a lovely day, guys. See you later. Bye.